Hey, this is Block Ops, Rolf Versluis with the Zencash live stream. Got Rob Viglione here, FinPunk, and we're going to do our bi-weekly update. We got a lot of things to go over. All yours, Rob.
Welcome, everyone. This is our Zencash March 21st bi-weekly update where we'll fill you guys in on everything that the team is doing. So the first thing I wanted to highlight was the fact that we have now over 8,100 secure nodes on our network, which is making us one of the most decentralized node architectures in the industry. And we're actually starting to rival Bitcoin in node count. So we have over 8,100 nodes where people actually went out of their way to qualify on our tracking system by getting a valid TLS certificate and having the other requirements met. But we certainly have other nodes on the network. So our node count is actually higher than just this number would indicate. So this is a really good achievement, or actually I would say an excellent achievement for the community. And we're still growing every week. So in this update, we're going to cover the usual stuff. We'll start with development. We'll get into, Alan will cover the secure node system and the updates there. And then we'll talk about our R&D updates. And we have some really important stuff going on there. And then we'll have Rosario take it away with the marketing updates, and we'll talk about the regional activity, all the good stuff we're doing around the world. So to start things off, like we always do, we want to highlight community members who have really gone out of their way to help out with the community. So two guys we wanted to highlight this week are Nathan King, who helped us actually develop a plugin for Zen Health. So plugging our help desk, which in itself is a really big deal as being the first for cryptocurrency to actually treat users like valued customers. And he developed a plugin to integrate that with Discord so that people can actually post issues on Discord that get automatically fed into our help desk. So that's really cool. Thank you very much, Nathan, for that. And then Thomas, one of our community members from Germany, has actually helped with a long-standing problem that we had and didn't even realize that we had on our search engine optimization, with our website not coming up as one of the top searches for Zencash, which is kind of crazy. And part of that was being an artifact of switching over to the new website recently. But he helped out with that. And now if you search Zencash, which is really important, we actually show up and right at the top of the. So thank you very much, guys, and we really appreciate your support. And whenever you see people standing out in the community, please reach out to ZenChick on Discord and let her know. So diving right into our development updates, we have four pages worth of updates. We've actually been doing a lot of work on the core code. So a lot of this stuff you can't see going on in the background, but we have some really big updates that will be hitting testnet next week. But hot off the press is we have an update. Our new version update 2.0.11 was released, and this is actually a really important fix for. We had some issues with reading hashes from that were being fed from the network versus what was being pulled from disk, and there was a disconnect there where we had too many wallet issues. So when people were launching their full node wallets, they were actually we were getting a lot of people with wallets were crashing. So our dev team actually deep dived really quick and solved the problem wonderfully and posted a fix actually within a few days of deep diving into it, which was really awesome to see. And then from actually patching the problem to getting all of the new releases packaged, the team did a great job. So now, please, everyone, update your wallets, update the versions for your wallets, and go to our GitHub, go to our website, and you'll see links to all of the most recent versions. Now, on the secure node, for secure node operators, this is really important for you to update your client. So we're auto-deprecating the current versions by block 290,076. So please make sure you get up there. The secure node tracker version you should be running is 0.2.1. And already, Ivan's done a great job packaging the binaries for swing wallet updates on Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. So this right away, remember, guys, there were some issues a few weeks ago where you had to re-index. This should be solving the whole re-indexing problem, and you should not have to do that anymore with the new update. Okay, so moving along to the second development slide. Now, we have a ton of work going on the core development. So we have 6 version upgrades from Zcash Upstream that our dev team has integrated already, and this is already running on our DevNet. So we have a DevNet, then we have a testnet, and then we have our mainnet. This has been running successfully on our DevNet, and we're going to be pushing this to testnet next week. The updates include, like I said, the six version updates from Zcash, but also we have some unique updates for ourselves in there. So for instance, we're including the ability to now add arbitrary data to the chain, which is a really important feature. It's the null transaction function that will allow us to now integrate with some other cool projects like FlowCrypt, which is a PGP for Gmail Chrome extension, where now we're going to be able to host the public keys for their entire system on our chain. Now, this is a really nice non-currency but privacy-centric application that we're going to be able to add to our system. So really cool work the guys have been doing there, and we'll be posting this to testnet next week. So everyone operating on testnet, operating nodes on testnet, look forward to this update, and we'll be running it live. And announcing an actual, this will result in a hard fork. We're going to be doing this extremely systematically and carefully, and working with all of our exchange partners, pool operating partners or whatnot, to make sure that this is a very smooth transition. It's nothing that we need to rush to mainnet. It's something that we'll be doing very deliberately. Now we have a whole bunch of wallet updates. So we have a really cool kind of flagship wallet project that some of the guys are working on right now, and it's comprised of so it's going to be a full node, a light client, and a web wallet, which then we'll be extending into mobile wallets. And the key here is that we're going to have a consistent user experience, and so kind of look and feel UI across all of these platforms. And this is kind of a really big push for what we call Operation Radical usability, where now we recognize that wallets in this industry are kind of clunky. They're fine if you're familiar with the industry, but they're not the kind of wallets that would pass what we call like our mother test. Like, would our mothers be using this wallet? It's just kind of an application on their smartphones. And that hasn't always been the case in the industry. So we're actually designing really slick, user-friendly wallets now for the community, which I think are really exciting. Now we're in the third sprint of 6, and each sprint lasts about 2 weeks. So expect this in about another month and a half. We'll be releasing some of these new products. This will be really fun for the community. Now, secure node system. The secure node system, Alan has done an awesome job actually getting operational right now. We have some updates to the system that we're thinking about in the architecture. And really the logic here, or the key thing here, is moving the logic from being off-chain, where we currently have server clusters in key regions around the world, to actually moving all of the logic on-chain for the tracking and then the payments, so that we can automate things more and take humans out of the loop. So I think this is a really big upgrade here. But the white paper that we're going to release on the architecture, I think will be very interesting to the community, because we have some other really key elements to this that we're building out to support the Secure Node version 2 system that will include, for instance, side chaining to actually do the tracking and the payment system. But once we introduce side chaining, there's a whole suite of other platform applications that we're going to be building onto the system that you'll have a little bit of a feel for in the new white paper. So, and then also the development team is working on putting together an offsite. So it's really amazing that we've been able to work in such a distributed manner, but there are always so many synergies when you bring people together, and you just get some really bright minds into the same room at the same time. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to put together an offsite developer workshop for the team, and we'll have more announced probably by the next live stream on that. Okay, so the next development slide here. So this goes to the whole philosophy of the white paper. So we had one white paper, which was our big system white paper to kick off this project. And the plan initially was to just update this white paper, but we're actually going to take a different tact here. So the first thing is the white paper is going to be translated to our own wiki. So we're going to have a wiki that we're going to have versioned and updated real time. Which I think is important, rather than having these discrete releases on white paper versions. So instead of having this kind of core white paper that's all encompassing and updating this every time we have something new, what we're going to do is we migrate that to a wiki, and then we're going to have specific white papers for specific projects. So for instance, I mentioned that we're going to have the Secure Node version 2 white paper introducing side chaining. That's going to be its own standalone document with design architecture and specifications. And then we're going to have other white papers. So we have a white paper that Jake and Joseph and the team have been working for ZenHide, which is a really important application in itself. But now it's going to have its own standalone white paper versus just a few paragraphs of a broader white paper, which is great because now we can go into a lot more detail with references and specification details. We're going to have a white paper for ZenPub, and we're going to have a white paper for, this is the first time we're announcing this publicly, something that we're calling Zen Grid, which is actually what we realized with having over 8,000 secure nodes on our network is all of a sudden we have a massive asset for the community. And this is a massive asset that is so underrated, where now we have all of these systems, and we have high quality systems because we actually have performance requirements. So now we're thinking, let's actually start using the system. Let's actually start using, now on ZenPub, we can start using the storage for all these systems. And on Zen Grid, we're going to start using the computation. So Zen Grid is essentially a computation for rent, or a computation for hire service, where we want to start offering more opportunities for node operators to earn income, and to make, subsequently to make our network and our ecosystem more valuable. So we're always trying to think, how could we boost the network value? How could we add revenue streams to people participating in the system? So because we have storage on this massive network, and because we have a massive amount of computation on the network, we're going to start leveraging these things with these types of systems, Zen Grid and ZenPub. So these will be very interesting white papers that will be forthcoming as well. But the top of the queue will be the SecNode v2 white paper. Okay, so the fourth development slide, we're continuing to work on a mining software rewrite. So the current mining software that the pools are using, ZNOP, is not perfect. We know this, and we know that there's some issues. So we're actually working to solve this. So this isn't something that's specific to Zencash. Actually, ZNOP was written for zClassic, and pool operators use it across the whole, zero knowledge proof class of coins. So we're actually doing a bit of a community service here by fixing the pool software and just kind of validating it and saying this passes our test. We're creating high quality software that we validate, that then the community and all the pool operators can use. So this will also be forthcoming. Now, Mac and team have been doing a seriously awesome job on putting together Zen Help. So you've got Mac, Gustavo, Spencer, and other team members who are just doing a phenomenal job. We have a new advisor, Forrest, joining the team here to help out, who is just a wealth of customer support experience. And it just shows our commitment to, we treat our users like valued customers. This is something that no other cryptocurrency in the world is doing right now. Even major exchanges aren't really doing a good job with it. So this is something we take extremely seriously, and we're putting a good amount of resources into getting right. So please actually help us test out. So Zen Help is in beta right now. Submit any of your issues if you have any problems. So right now we have some of the big issues that people submit are wallet issues. For instance, when we had the whole kind of hash issue reading from disk, people were submitting a bunch of wallet issues. And now people submit kind of phantom downtime issues on secure node from secure node operators. Any issues that you have, it's important you submit them. So this isn't just about near-term help to users. This is also about, for us, an opportunity to collect data. And when we can collect data, we can build a repository of common issues. Then we feed this into our own wiki pages and FAQs and just our own knowledge base. So that's actually the products that come out of the back end of the Zen Help Desk are actually just nice, refined package for our own comprehensive knowledge base. Which now the knowledge base itself is another extremely important aspect of this project, where we're putting together not just documentation but also tutorial videos to help people with some of the most common issues. So please help us out with that. Now, going down the line of radical usability. So usability to us is important. We don't just want to be a coin that people speculate on. So that's why you see us as working on this whole suite of platform-like products that we're building to enhance the value of the ecosystem. But part of it is we have a really good cryptocurrency, Zencash, and we want our cryptocurrency to be actually used. So what we have now, and this started with IOHK, but now we have other development partners with InfoPulse who are building an integration for Zencash into OpenBazaar. Now, OpenBazaar, we've mentioned this before, it's a peer-to-peer version of eBay, where anyone in the world can post anything that they want for sale, trade, services that they want to provide, and people can go on there and purchase it with Zen. So this is what we're working on right now with the InfoPulse team. I'm very excited about it. As soon as we get the integration, I encourage the entire community to get on there and start supporting the OpenBazaar ecosystem and showing that the Zen community is a really big part of that ecosystem. So we're also working really hard on hardware wallet integrations. So this is something that we've been talking about for a while. I'm really happy to report that we're done on Ledger. So this was something that we've been a little cautious to announce that we're done, because the team has been working for months actually on customizing the code in the back end. They've done a phenomenal job. We had send and receive working actually last month, but we want to make sure that everything was perfect before we actually make this announcement. So what Rolf is having them do right now is we're going to try to package this for our own GitHub repo so that anyone with the technical savvy can implement this now on their own devices, but we're also going to be pushing it to the actual Ledger community and having them integrate it formally into their software, into their hardware devices. So that's really good news. And we also have some other hardware devices that we're actively looking to integrate into. So the goal here is to be massively useful and to make it super easy for the entire community to be able to use all of our products. So we know that hardware devices are an integral part of this, so we're working hard, and we'll have some other really interesting announcements in the near future for you guys. Okay, so secure node updates. As always, I think Alan is more eloquent talking about stuff. So Alan, are you available to give an update?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. How about it?
Okay. We're at the point where we're collecting statistics and being able to pull data out of the database to start showing things like this chart for the growth of the secure nodes, which shows it from, I think, about the beginning of December to the present. And you can see that it's been just a steady growth upward, and how many nodes that we're adding. We'll have more stats and graphs like this coming out in the future as we start collecting that information on the back end. We're continuing to work on refining the way that the trackers on the nodes connect to the servers. We just did an update yesterday on taking care of a couple of issues, one on the certificate checks and another on the challenges responding with a particular code, like transactions not found, and got that taken care of. We're also working on load balancing. We still have growth going on, and we need to add another set of servers pretty soon for the tracking system. So that's underway. Chronic's working on that part of it. We are also continuing to pay out claims for any node operators out there who are listening. If you still have some claims that are from the past couple months, that is still open to go back and check some of your payments. And some of those phantom downtimes is what we're focusing on being able to catch up on. We hope to close that out pretty soon, though, so that we just don't have that open-ended forever. Also, with the updates, again, we're talking about both the tracker version, which is fairly well taken care of, although there's still some older ones out there. Those are being enforced so that they're no longer eligible for payments. You need to be on 0.2.1, and also with Zen coming up, 2.0.11, needs to be updated by that block number, and this will be important for node operators too, because prior versions will not be eligible for payments as of that block time or that particular day, and previous versions of the tracker won't be eligible for payments. So that be enforced within the tracking server itself, but the nodes themselves will stop operating at that point if you're not on the latest version. And as Rob mentioned before, that we have over 8,100 registered nodes on the system. Back to you, Rob.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Alan. So the next slide here, we want to just do a quick review of the R&D updates that we have ongoing. So one big thing here is, so we're working very closely with IOHK, and this relationship is, I just have to say, extremely awesome for us in the community. So we have an on-site working session with IOHK on March 23rd in Kiev, Ukraine, where we're actually meeting with their cryptographers and their governance team to go through. So actually the governance, the treasury voting system that we announced would be done or prototype by the end of second quarter. We're actually going to have, it's already in testing. So it's already on like load testing right now, where the OKEx team is testing the configuration out with 1,000 voters, 10,000 voters, 100,000 voters, really trying to stress the system. And it's being delivered way ahead of schedule from prototype. Now, what we do is we take the prototype, we hand it off to our production team to actually build into our protocol, and we have some of our engineers flying out to Ukraine to meet up with those guys to actually go into detail about what's the current progress, actually deep dive into the code for the prototype, look at the testing results, and then plot the path forward to migrate from prototyping to production work. So this is really exciting. This is great that we're able to work so closely with these guys, and they're so far ahead of schedule. So this is really good news for the community. Now, like I said earlier, Joseph and Jake have been doing an excellent job working on ZenHide, and this is our domain fronting application. So they've actually put together most of a white paper with draft specifications. We're going to be looking to finalize the white paper and release it to the community so you can see which path we're looking at taking, but the proof of concept is actually in progress. So expect some good news there. So certainly by the next bi-weekly, I'd like to have this white paper released to the community so you can see more detail. And Alberto and Pierre are spearheading our ZenPub application, which is our distributed file storage system. So they're working on draft specs right now that are in progress. Now, I have to foot stomp this and say how important this is. And this just shows you the value proposition of what we're bringing to the table of, we have a wonderful cryptocurrency Zencash, but now we're kind of pivoting and we're starting to make use or planning to make use of our massive node architecture. And ZenPub is a big part of this. So we know that we have all of these high quality systems with a lot of storage capacity sitting out there, sitting idle, and we're building our own distributed file storage system. So this will be our own decentralized version of Dropbox, which there are entire other coins or other blockchain projects that are doing just this. That, for instance, Filecoin raised about $200 million to do just this. There's SiaCoin, which is a big Chinese project out there. There's MadeSafe, there's StorageJ. So there's a bunch of other projects that have raised a good amount of capital to do just this. And this is one application that we're building on top of our platform. So this just shows you the future direction and our longer term value propositions here of where we're going. Okay, guys, so that's what we have on the development and R&D and secure node front. Why don't we transition over to Rosario to give you guys kind of a summary of what we have going on in the marketing.
Thank you, Rob. Hello, everybody. So from the marketing standpoint, we have, of course, public relations, social media, SEO, and ads, and grassroots efforts. So for us, and focusing in the following weeks is going to be to increase our organic growth through blogs and interesting content. So check out our new blog design by Lucy. Thank you for doing that. It looks great. And I'm really, really happy to see the results in just 2 weeks for adjusting our blog strategy. So we've increased our users, 47% increased users. That's amazing. And also we've observed an increased sessions for each of those times. So we're going to continue monitoring these and have them, hopefully the numbers looking great in the future. So we're tailoring our messaging to meet the data results, and happy to see that. Next slide, please. All right, so from the public relations standpoints, we have a couple, kind of a two-prong approach for public relations. We have a press release function, and that is to announce major news to the press. So when we had that IOHK announcement, we had several media pick up on that. So, and that's one aspect. We also have media inserts, and media inserts are good to have for Zencash to be seen as a leader in technology and help people that would otherwise wouldn't seek us out to learn more about Zencash. So this week we had 4 different media, this past couple weeks we had 4 different media inserts that were picked up. One was a response by John Oliver's piece on cryptocurrencies. It was pretty funny, so you guys should check them out. We had another piece on a response for self-regulation on cryptocurrency markets, and as you know, we are very focused on operation transparency, so this was very important for us to provide inputs on what we are doing for to self-regulate in this cryptocurrency market. So whenever you see these articles, please share on social media, like and distribute, grow tremendously. Next slide, please. So speaking of social media, we are very active on our social media channels and trying to hit different time zones and maximize. So our design team, Linda, Marco, and Crypto Media Hub, and of course Lucy, are amazing and been doing a lot from that front. So the data tells us that video and images perform better, and of course video does better, and you can observe that just by your own what you are drawn individually. So this week we had a video on secure nodes, announcing the over 8,000 secure nodes in just 3 months. And we wanted to thank our secure node operators and just highlight that. So we saw an amazing amount of views for that. So that thank you for that. We do see some refinement that needs to happen in the post engagements. So we'll be working on that. And really happy to see the total action on each page increase. So whenever we asked an individual in our post to go check us out on a link, we've seen an increased actions on that for our website. So thank you to our design team, and please, whenever you see something on social media, like, share, and help us grow. Next slide. So we had Zenspiration competition to highlight what inspires you with Zen. So we are happy to announce our 3 winners. Marius Senders, our first place, Robert Berg, our second place, and Cindy Bout for our third place. Sydney is very active in our community, so thank you for doing that. And please claim your prizes and post your address either on Twitter or on the Discord channels, and we'll get you your prize. But this is amazing. Rolf, can we play the video?
Yeah, we should be able to. Let me hit play here. I don't think I did the audio properly on this. It's beautiful music.
You can sing
yeah,
along.
so this was
Sorry.
This was a pretty great to see what our headquarters would look like. So and it has our logo blocks in there, so it's pretty funny to see this. So thank you so much for submitting your inputs for these for Zenspiration. All right, so next slide, please. So this is a continuation for our social media. So we have different campaigns coming up. In the past, we've done our Discord bot announcements, and we'll continue doing that. We also had a great success with Rolf in the Zen Mexico meetup, so doing a lot of announcements for those. And we have upcoming polls for our favorite website features. And what I would like is just to learn what the community wants us to focus on, what they're liking, what they don't like. So I'm going to be having a lot of these polls just to tailor our messages and focus in what the community wants us to focus on. We have 2 upcoming campaigns that is going to be the Anytime, Anywhere. That's just to announce our new support system that is going to be coming online soon. And it is in beta right now. So if you go out there, I think Rob mentioned it, and add your support tickets in there. But we'll do the formal announcement once it's live, fully live and operational. And also for our Zen style store, and this is where we'll have our different Zen Cash swag, our shell swag, right? And of course, we have our newsletter that goes out every 2 weeks. So please subscribe to that. It has a lot of great information that is summarized, and you'll be able to pick those out. So follow, like, and share, and help us grow our different social media channels. Next slide, please. This, I believe, is my last slide for marketing. From the grassroots perspective, our grassroots are the core for Zencash as a community project. So we've had great interest from YouTubers wanting to learn more about Zencash. And we've also received some inputs from our community members on different YouTubers. So if you're a YouTuber out there and you're interested in having one of our team members on your channel, please reach out to me. For this past month, we've had 16 different interviews or reviews, which adds up to about over 25,000 views in just 1 month. So I think this is great to extend the reach from the grassroots perspective. And then we have different campaigns that we'll be listing and announcing soon, including a Bitcoin Talk campaign. And we also have podcast sponsorships, and this is another way for us to reach a new type of users where they may be philosophically aligned to Zencash. So we'd like to target those as well. And that is a conclusion for marketing. Thank you, Rob.
Awesome. Thank you, Rosario. I can't wait for swag shell. That would be great. Anyways, so let's move to the country lead updates, and the first one would be David, if you're available, our regional manager in the CIS market.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You know, I was just thinking it's so hard to talk after Rosario because she's done so many amazing things on so many fronts. I just have hard time wrapping my mind how one person, no offense to you, Rob, can do so many things, like orchestrate them so perfectly. Anyway, so
just don't let it get to her head, David.
I think she knows it. I'm sorry, but she knows it. But she doesn't show that she does, so that's a good thing. Anyway, so we've been doing a few different things in the CIS market. We are one of our sort of a very favorite community members, North Dakota, has done yet another very neat little thing, WooCommerce plugin, and it's complete. I believe he already posted on the GitHub. And what it is, it's officially the most popular e-commerce plugin for someone who wants to open a store and sell stuff. And by that, I mean anything. So this is, I call it a first small step for a giant, huge crypto sales, world, so to speak. Kind of enter this once you have that ready for your coin, and not many do. I think big guys have it. I heard Monero is one of them. It's really a lot of people can, and you can always plug in the anonymity part here. Somebody wants to buy something wants to keep really private, unless the shipping address will give them away, they could use Zencash private address to do so. Any shop that would accept or that would use the WooCommerce that could accept Zen. On the marketing side, actually our first campaign with Oleg was very successful, as I announced in the last meeting. He posted our video, and we had, in the first few days, we had 8,000 likes, not just views. I don't know how many views, but Instagram shows likes. I don't know if you can see in the small little red funny box that I made there. So that's definitely I was very pleased to see that. Also, Zencash was mentioned twice on a national TV show that was along with Bitfury representatives, and I hope everybody knows Bitfury who is listening here, and by our friends at Upbit Mining, who are basically building the largest known GPU farm in Georgia right next to Bitfury. I found an ironical coincidence because Bitfury itself is probably the single largest entity who mines Bitcoin. So they're kind of talking about which coins they value and which ones are the best ones to mine for whatever reason. And they mentioned Zencash along with 3 or 4 others, and I think those 3 or 4 was Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Zcash, or something like that. So I was very pleased with that. Last but not the least, another community member, Telecot, who helped us a lot in the Moscow blockchain conference, built a very simple Zencash voting Telegram channel, and it has a very few members so far, only because I think I have not done a good enough job to help him market this. But I think it's an awesome place for you guys to join. The spelling is right there. We see Zencash voting, and he just regularly posts links where different exchanges or different kind of reputable crypto websites post surveys saying, hey, what's your favorite crypto coin? Hey, which altcoin would you like to list on our exchange? So he collects that information and puts it on that Telegram chat that you can join, and simply all you need to do is, one click, it'll open the link and you can vote for your favorite coin. That of course is going to be Zencash. And I think that's it. I'll stop there and move to the next one.
Awesome. Thank you very much, David. Always a ton going on. So moving to our Central European and German regional lead, Arno, would you like to tell us all the good stuff going on there?
Rob, I think Arno may have, he's here. I think he was mentioning something. He may not be available, but I see him here. So.
Yeah, so I see Arno, but I don't.
Everyone?
There you are. You're good.
Yeah, sorry. I started with push to talk today, so that's my fault. I just want to let you know I have 2 short points for the German market. The first one is about the kind of a sponsorship for paintball events. You can find it via Facebook best, and they will put stickers and maybe just have some fun, which we are supporting. The next one for German market is that in May we have a meetup. It's actually a conference, because they have speaking slots where I will talk about governance with privacy in the blockchain hotel in Essen. And it's actually for Germany the 2 important points. And then for Central Europe, I want to give the chance to Jonas and Dominic to introduce themselves, because they are now the new representatives for Austria, Österreich, and France, Frankreich. So I would give Jonas the microphone or the word first.
Well, thanks, Arno, and hey, everyone. So yeah, my name is Jonas. I'm living in Innsbruck currently, and I've been living here for the last 6 years. I finished my bachelor studies in chemistry this summer, and it was around that time that I got into the crypto space. And I started exploring and learning as much as I could. And it didn't take too long until I stumbled upon the Zencash project for the first time. And to me personally, privacy is a very important aspect. So I grew quite fond of the project, and I was lucky enough to meet Arno at the blockchain spring school recently in Mittweida. And yeah, so now I'm the new representative for Austria. One of the first things I'll attend is the C3 conference in Berlin, the 5th and 6th of April. And later that year, I'll probably at the Crypto Valley conference in Zug, Switzerland, from the 20th to 22nd of June. I'll put in some work to get the German website and the German white paper going, organize a few meetups in and around Innsbruck. And yeah, I'm really glad to be part of the team. I'm looking forward to good cooperation over the next month and hopefully years. And I'd say a word up to Dominic.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dominic, or Yunzo. So it's my first time on the B-Weekly. It's been a few months already since I discovered Zen and since I'm into the blockchain. I like the project and the community spirit. So I just recently met Arno, and that's when I've been asked if I want to be part of the Zen community. And I'm happy to take care of the French-speaking parts, which are the French and France and Belgium. So we just started a French Facebook page this week. Kernel has already launched a Twitter page as well as a French tutorial to set up secure nodes. So for people who want to set up secure nodes in French, that might be a good tutorial to use. I'll be on the blockchain summit on 26th of April in Frankfurt. So if any Zen people from France or from Germany will attend there, I will be happy to meet you there. And yeah, so this summer I'll be moving to France with my family, and that's that's the time where I'll start also doing some meetups in France, so around the summer. So that's it for now from my part.
Okay, thank you guys, and welcome from everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah, welcome, Jonas and Dominic. Great to have you guys, and excited to be working with you. So the next up, we have slides for the Italian market from Luca. I don't believe Luca is available online to discuss the slides today. Luca, if you're out there and you hear me, you can just interrupt. Otherwise, I'll just dive right in. So in northern Italy, there's actually a whole town or village, actually. They call it Bitcoin Valley. And what Luca's doing, actually, which I think is very clever on the marketing side, he's actually building a Zencash Valley. So he's getting in touch with the nbitcoin.it guys to replicate the Bitcoin Valley success for us. And I think this is great because actually, as far as cryptocurrencies go and blockchain projects go, we're actually, I would say we are at a minimum at the very top of leading the way in Italy. So this is great to see, and I think this is an excellent initiative from Luca. He's also speaking with Crypto for a hardware wallet for integration to a hardware wallet that has a focus on privacy. So we actually have a few projects for hardware wallets that we're looking at simultaneously, going beyond Ledger. So there's more to come in the near future there. Luca's pushing for Zen adoption on chain blocks ATMs, so a system of ATMs in Italy we're trying to get Zen integrated into. So we've already done that in the country of Colombia. So we're looking to replicate that in Italy. He's spreading the word, or he spread the word, I should say. He joined us at the London Crypto Investor Show. We actually had, I would say, a truly awesome showing for the team in London last week. So it was really good. The team did an awesome job putting together our booth. We kept getting consistent feedback that our team was one of the best booths there, and we had constantly just aligning people to talk to us. So that was really cool and great exposure for the project. I was also able to give a talk there. And another really fun thing here is we're actually establishing an office in Milan. So we've got Alberto there now, who's leading our software department, and Luca are both in Italy, and they're going to be actually starting a Zen office in a co-working space, Europe's biggest co-working space, actually, in the Milan office. So that'll be really good. Anyone in the northern or central Italy area, or feel free, please stop by the office and meet up with the guys directly. Okay, so moving forward to the China and Hong Kong markets, I'll hand off to Lucy. And Lucy, I have to say, you are being ridiculously productive here. So, please share what you've been doing recently with the China markets.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is Lucy Wan. I think this is my first time presenting on our bi-weekly live. So I'm with the Zencash marketing division, and I also help grow the China market. We have made some really exciting progress. Our official website and the white paper now can be viewed in Chinese. Our web development team and translator have worked very hard on this, and I think the result is awesome. We have a new team member. So speaking of translations, we have a new team member, Zheng Hanyun, that's his name, and just joined us as the translator. So he translated the website and he did a great job. He will be focusing on translating a lot more of Zencash content into Chinese. So more rigidly tailored content is being produced and released to fit specific market demand. So we are very happy that Zheng Han is on with us, and I think he will be a great asset to us in expanding our market in Asia. And then also our online community is growing and engaging, and then we will have very soon have an official account on Weibo. So this is like equivalent to Twitter for users in China. And so if you're watching this live stream right now and you speak Chinese, please be sure to make sure that you join our community on WeChat. And we also have a Chinese channel in our Discord network. and then you can see the username on the screen here. Also, we have 2 interviews scheduled this month with 2 different community groups that are focused on local cryptocurrency, blockchain education, and industry reviews. So the first one is Shiduo Bi, also known as Big Whale. So he is based in Singapore. I think that it's their team. The team is based in Singapore. And then second one is Pioneer of Blockchain, is based in mainland of China. Both of them are doing a phenomenal job in educating the public and spreading knowledge about cryptocurrency and blockchain. The interviews will be in both Chinese and Mandarin Chinese and English. So all of this is very exciting, and helping Zencash expanding in the Chinese market and building relationships with our users and community. Well, not just in China, but all our other Chinese regions. So I think that's what I have today. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lucy. This is really great work. And I'm excited to see more to come in China and Hong Kong markets. So the next up, we have our Africa or Kenya update from Hugh. I don't believe Hugh's online to give it himself, so I'll just go through her slides. But
Rob, if you want, I can take over.
Oh, cool. Yeah, please do. Thank you, Arno.
Yeah, I could take over because the meetup with the iLab in Africa, I was in the telephone call too. And that's, I think, the biggest event which happened in the last 2 weeks in the African market. There we discussed how we can structure the workshop, and it looks like we have like a 2-day workshop, which is split in 2-hour or 8-hour or 5 hours each day. And it's very interesting because they have in this, it's not only one lab, they have 4 different laboratories with a different computer infrastructure. And now we are just try to figure out a way how to teach as much students as possible and not straining the budget. Like it should be for free for the students. And that is what Ayara and Mia currently are about. And then we have this network of African group, which requested actually Ayara to give a meetup, and I will be attending this through Skype or Google. So we will explain a little bit about the cryptocurrency generally and about the crypto economy as far as we are able to talk with experience about it. So I think that's the main facts from the African market.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Arno. And moving along to Mexico and Latin America, Angie.
Hey guys. Well, last week we had a lot of fun. We had our first Zencash Monterey meetup, and we kind of like have a little networking with people. We spread a little bit the word of Zencash. Our attendees were kind of surprised about Zencash. They were kind of like, okay, this is a very cool project. There's a lot of people behind it. So I think it was a success. It was really cool, and we had a lot of time. Thanks, Rolf, for the support and your video conference, because they were also like super excited. It was like you were kind of like this super cool god, and they were all like learning from you about mining and Zencash. So it was a lot of fun, and it was super cool because I got to see the faces of people, and at the end they were like super glad that we had the meetup. So continuing, we are creating the calendar and agenda for the upcoming events in Mexico and also Latin America. Countries like Colombia, Argentina, Brazil, and Chile are having different events in the upcoming months. So we want to make sure that we are there and kind of like some support and assist to these events, because it's kind of like a really cool events. So hopefully we have some agendas and some calendars in the upcoming weeks to attend these events. And we are attending Talentland in Guadalajara, Mexico, from the 2nd of April to the 6th. This is a very, very huge event in Guadalajara city with over 30,000 attendees this year. So it's kind of like huge. They have this kind of like talent concept where they have different stages, in different areas and subjects like startups, blockchain, artificial intelligence, robotics, and like kind of like a lot of stuff. So it's kind of like a mixture of students and business people and the government. So we definitely have to be there, and we will. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how we can take advantage of this event and spread as well the Zencash word in there. So I think for my part, that's it. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Angie, and thanks to everyone who chimed in. I think so. We've hit the end of the slide deck here. So why don't we, Rolf? Do you want to take some Q&A?
Sorry, I had to unmute there. Yeah, I'd love to take Q&A. People have been asking some questions in the on the YouTube live stream as well as on the Discord. So yeah, you and I, like we normally do, can go back and forth with answering questions on that. One of the quick questions I saw on the YouTube live stream was InfoPulse. Is that the organization in Ukraine? And yes, it is. So we have a great team of core developers that do a lot of work ongoing with upgrades and bringing in upstream from the Bitcoin and Zcash developers, and that's really appreciated. Then we have the major upgrades that you talked about, as well as the for the treasury and the governance model integrating into the core software, as well as the upgrade to Spectre and Phantom. And those are the ones that we're specifically working with IOHK and for research and modeling, and InfoPulse for development on.
So I'm not okay. There's one not really a question here, but a suggestion. How about a poll for additional or new propositions? Things like ZenID. That's something I've been a proponent of for a little while, and trusted logins validated by secure node network. So I think Rosario's on it. So we definitely want to have feedback from the community. We have a very full roadmap ahead of us, and one thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to overpromise and not be able to deliver. So we have finite resources right now, and the challenge for us is to be able to triage the projects to think what's the sequence that is optimal to do, like which projects should we do ahead of others. I can say right now we have a very, very full roadmap. We're of course always looking for more members of the community to step up and help out with things. We're also, as we're in a bit of a, you guys have probably noticed, we're in a bit of a market slump right now. So our budget is tied to the market price. So we're not looking to expand significantly the current team. So I think what we have in the roadmap pipeline right now is probably a good indication of what we'll be working on probably throughout the rest of the year, unless things really pick up significantly and we can significantly expand the team.
Yeah, I mean, we continue to have funding. It's the basis of our model, but depending on what the price compared to fiat is, just depends on how much we have to spend in a given period on marketing and development and things like that. So we're always going forward. It's just sometimes at different rates. I know there was a comment in asking about, okay, the storage that we talked about for distributed storage, and wanted to draw a distinction between, yes, we have Zencash secure nodes, and even if we get up to 10,000 or 20,000 Zencash secure nodes, the amount of distributed storage on 10,000 servers is going to be very different, even by orders of magnitude, than the storage projects are doing, like Filecoin and Storage.A and MaidSafe and SIA. So we're not talking about matching those distributed storage projects by storing stuff on just the secure nodes. Obviously, if we're doing distributed storage, it would be much more than on the secure nodes. And Rob, let's say I'll toss you this one, but I'll do a lead up to it. Would Zencash be interested in helping out Cryptopia? And I hope I'm saying that correctly. And that's the project in Venezuela, where there's a team of people that are working to create a small ecosystem for people to use cryptocurrency in parts of Venezuela, because the Venezuelan money isn't working so well right now. And so what they're looking to do is go through and have classes with individual people and then seed them with small mobile wallets with cryptocurrency on it. And so the request is, will Zencash assist in this? So I wanted to toss that to you to answer.
Sure, sure. I mean, my gut is I would love to say absolutely. I do think that. So we have a process right now, and what I would recommend is we should load this into the forum as a proposal, and I for sure would support it. This project isn't just Rolf and Rob making lateral decisions. We want to make sure that the community has the opportunity to participate in decision making. So I just recommend putting it to the forum, and let's see what the community says. But very clearly has my support.
Sorry, and I said that wrong. It's in Colombia for Venezuelan refugees, and I think what you said is great, because as with every community type proposal or in the forum, what we're looking for is, hey, what are you looking for us to do? What's it going to involve? What's it going to cost? What are going to be the deliverables? What are we going to see out of it? And how does it benefit not only the Zencash ecosystem, but the community of Zencash, as well as people all around. There's many projects and ways to contribute out there. And so, like you said, I completely agree with, let's put this out in the forum and let people talk about it. And this is one of the great things that we're going to have as we have the governance model, where we're going to be able to have specific projects that people propose and vote on them. So, but right now we've got the forum.
And just to piggyback on that, Rolf. So Cox for Will, I guess, asked a question of whether you have to wait for the DAO, our actual formal Treasury voting system, to be complete before submitting proposals. Absolutely not. No. So we actually have a temporary solution right now. We're in our forum. So basically, we have a whole forum proposal submission process. I recommend everyone that wants to contribute to the system here, please check it out. Go to forum.zensystem.io or forum.zencash.com, and you'll be able to see the actual process that we have. So essentially, we don't want it to be too bureaucratic, but we need to know a little bit of detail about what you want to do, especially if we're going to community resources to it. And it's a great way for the community to have visibility into the types of projects that we're looking to do, and the community can weigh in with comments.
Let's see, suggestion on search engine optimization for YouTube, and suggestion that we work on that. I was thinking about that this week as well. There's so many different people that like to learn about crypto and cryptocurrencies and stay up to date on YouTube. And our YouTube channel, maybe it could use a little bit of love with more small videos, more bringing in into playlists of what other people do, so that people could go, if they wanted to see all the videos about Zen, they could go to the Zencash YouTube channel, and then we have more links pointing to the YouTube channel, so that when people do searches on it, they could do that as well. And I was thinking that furthermore, we could possibly, and I'd love to hear what folks in the community have to say about this, but post more articles on Steemit. And then, of course, Steemit has the DTube platform, which is very similar in usage to YouTube, but it's based upon Steemit. So there's a lot that we can do on the video side of things, and you're already starting to see some of that, and I think you're going to see a lot more of it.
Okay, another question from Trollolino. So any plan be added to an exchange where Zen could be margin traded? So here's the thing with our business development and exchange listings is, unfortunately, we really can't tell you what we have in the pipeline definitively. And that's a function of having NDAs. So whenever you have an agreement to list on an exchange, you sign an NDA, and basically you don't talk about it until the actual listing happens. So what I can say is we have Rowan is leading a business development organization basically on steroids, where he and his team are doing a ridiculously good job of getting out there and nonstop getting us on the phone with exchanges, with hardware wallet producers, with other people that have kind of symbiotic value propositions to us that we could benefit from working with. So please be patient. We definitely want to get on basically every quality exchange in the world, including those that offer margin trading. But with details, unfortunately, we really can't share more.
let's see. I'm looking through. I'm not sure that there's things that we haven't. Okay. Any interest in getting Zen accepted on Crypto Emporium? I'm not as familiar with Crypto Emporium. Is that the shop where you can buy really expensive things using cryptocurrency? Actually, what I wanted to talk about is to talk a little bit more about building out small ecosystems in your community locally. This is one of the things that we all have to do with all sorts of different types of cryptocurrencies that actually want to be used. It's great to go out and get customers that accept a cryptocurrency. It's probably even more valuable to create a whole cryptocurrency ecosystem where people accept it and where they spend it. In a lot of cases, you can do that most easily in your own backyard. I'll give you an example. If you're part of a local meetup group and your meetup group wants to make a difference, well, then maybe every month or two you can figure out and say, well, where do we all go spend money? Where do we all go buy things from? And if there's a place where you all go buy things from, whether it's a local coffee shop or some other local business, maybe a gym or things like that, you can say, go talk to them and explain to them about cryptocurrencies and say, hey, we'd like you to start accepting cryptocurrencies. We'll help you do that, and we will come spend the money that we would normally spend in our local currency in cryptocurrency. And that way you start an ecosystem going. Then that business will have cryptocurrency that they'll want to spend, and they'll talk to their suppliers and customers. So a lot of things you can best do locally, although certainly online, it's great as well, but we have to start a bunch of these small cryptocurrency ecosystems all over the place.
Hey, Rolf, when you come visit us here next week, actually, the CrossFit gym that you'll go to takes Zen. So,
hey, that's great. You're already doing that. I will bring my mobile Zen wallet and pay my drop-in fee using that.
So another question here we had on Spectre or Phantom. So for those who don't know, Spectre and Phantom are the two DAG protocols that we're looking at. They're block DAG protocols, which is a significant upgrade to our just transaction protocol in the way that we kind of form blocks and whether we do it in serial or parallel. And what I can say is, so the research team looking into both protocols does actually have a favorite. They actually do have a recommendation to move forward. But as always, let me disappoint you guys and just ask you to be patient and wait until we actually come out with a formal response on that. So basically, the trade-off here, Spectre is hyper fast with lots and lots of transactions being throughput in the system very quickly. Phantom modulates it, slows it down a little bit so that it can be optimized for smart contracting. So we can the decision space here is basically, do we want to really kind of turbocharge the transaction throughput, or do we want to slow things down a little bit but still be so much faster than a traditional blockchain, but then be kind of more optimized for smart contracting? The team does have a preference. Let's just give them a little bit to kind of draft some documentation and release that formally.
Let's see. Thinking back to some of the discussions that I had on Discord with people, you might want to think back to some of the ones that you had. I know you spent a little bit more time on Telegram, but some folks were talking about, okay, because Monero, Bitmain recently released a miner for the Kryptonite protocol, and the devs at Monero are saying that they're going to change the protocol so that the ASIC miner won't work, because they really want to have a lot of distributed mining as opposed to more centralized mining. And so that got us into talking, okay, well, what about, what are things that might be able to be improved over time with the mining protocol that Zencash uses of Equihash? And again, these are things that we don't have to be in a hurry to do because there's not an issue with them, but there are things that we might want to think about over time, and are perfect things to discuss as we put the voting and governance model into place. But one of them might be, should we look at making sure that Equihash is ASIC resistant? Is ASIC resistance important? There's been up and down with difficulty adjustments, which sometimes takes the block time and extends it or shortens it. Do we want to maybe look at doing something different with the difficulty adjustment process? Do we want to possibly look at changing the emission curve so there's no quantum halving leap every 4 years, but do a more constant curve decrease. So there's a lot of different things that we talk about, and in some cases we default back to, because there's a proof of work and proof of stake discussion, we default back to things that have been proven to work over time because we're doing so many new things. When there isn't something that we have to change, just to change something, we go back to what's worked. And Bitcoin is a great example of what has worked so far.
Yeah, I'd say Bitcoin's pretty good, huh?
Tell you what, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's it as far as the Q&A goes. So I don't know, Rolf, do you see any other questions?
Not really, no. So we'll save them for next time. And again, we'll be back in 2 weeks with another update. Things happen really fast in the crypto world, and we've got a lot of stuff going on with Zen. So this is a fun project to be part of. And we have a really great community, and I'm excited that we have a great team that's doing so many different things all in parallel, all at once. So this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, guys. I have to say, this really is ridiculous. Every 2 weeks we have so many interesting updates. So thank you very much to everyone who participated on the Q&A, and definitely to the team to actually putting this stuff together and doing all of the hard work.
Yeah, thanks, guys. All right, talk to you later.